Alright, hey guys, wanted to make a quick little video on the free response questions for the 2012 exam. This is question 1. Question 2 and 3, you should check out after this. Okay? So remember, we need to read absolutely everything in this question here. So that includes right here, question 1. We need to read everything. So here it says that Steve Rail, the only provider of a train service operating between two cities, is currently incurring economic losses. So right off the bat, they're the only provider, so that is a monopoly, and they are having economic losses, which means their price is less than their ATC. If you do not remember what that means, right, the economic losses, I highly suggest you checking out the economic translator or looking at your notes, okay, that lecture slides or something. You need to know as soon as you read economic losses, that means price less than ATC. So on part A, it says using a correctly labeled graph, show each of the following. We need to show their loss, minimizing price and quantity. Anytime you read loss minimizing, that's basically profit max. They're the same thing. Okay. So we will be doing MR equals MC, and we will be labeling PM and QM. So let's go ahead and do that. So part A, we need a demand curve, we need price, we need quantity, we need a demand curve, we need a marginal revenue curve, we need a marginal cost, and I like to do the price and quantity right now, and I'll show you why. So we do MR equals MC, we find the quantity. How do we find price? We go up to the demand curve. So that would be our price here. So PM, QM. So right off the bat right there, that is actually going to be 3 points. Okay, you get a point for the demand curve and the marginal revenue curve, and you get a point for the quantity, and then you get a point for the price. Okay, so that's 3 points for that question there for just drawing a monopoly, right? If you are still struggling with knowing what a monopoly looks like, again, check out the lecture slides. All right, now I saved the ATC for this question right here. Show the area of losses. So I like to do the ATC after I do price so I can know where to draw it. So I know that price is less than ATC. So my ATC has to be more than price. So I need to draw the ATC like this. Remember, the ATC hits the MC at the minimum ATC. Very important that you remember to draw it like that. Okay. So this is our ATC right there. So this area right here is our losses. Okay. So price, ATC. So this area shaded completely is our losses. Okay. So what you would do is you would shade this, and then you'll put a little arrow that says losses. Okay. All right. So that is everything on part I. Double I, the area of losses. Now we need the allocative efficient quantity. Remember, allocative efficient was price equals MC. Another way to think about that is where demand equals MC, and that happens where MC and demand happen right here. So this is QE. Okay, so that's all we got to put there. So part A is done. Everything right here should be for part A. If you do not have this for part A, you will not receive full credit. This is exactly what it needs to look like. Part B. If Steve Rail raised price above PM, would total revenue increase, decrease, or not change? Well, what does a monopoly, where do they always operate? Monopolies always operate on the elastic part of demand. So what does that mean? Well, if they're on the elastic side, all right, and they try to raise price, what has to happen to quantity? Well, quantity has to go down. And if quantity is going down on the elastic side, total revenue is going down. So the explanation for this question would go as follows. Total revenue would decrease because demand is price elastic in that range. Well, more like because demand is price elastic and where marginal revenue is greater than zero. Okay? Okay, so that's part B. That's all you have to say is total revenue would decrease because it's price elastic. Part C. Assume a per unit subsidy is provided to Steve Rowe. A per unit subsidy means extra money, right? So that means if you have more money, your cost goes down. Marginal cost goes down. If your marginal cost goes down, what happens to your quantity? Okay, you do not have to draw this, but I at least want to show you what goes on. If my marginal cost goes down, okay, MR equals MC is here, so quantity is going to increase. So because you have a lower marginal cost, your quantity will go up. Again, you do not have to draw it on the graph, but I at least wanted to show you that quantity will increase because a per unit subsidy will decrease marginal cost and intersect, hold on, sorry, I can't spell, intersect marginal revenue at a higher quantity. Okay. So very important, the per unit subsidy, that's what does it. And the reason that's important is because of D, and we'll get in there in a second. So what happened to consumer surplus? Well, if you increase your quantity, right, which let's say it's at QE, right, let's just increase our quantity. What happened to price? Well, if we're at QE, price goes down, right? So because your quantity is going up, your price goes down. So what happened to consumer surplus? Well, consumer surplus will increase. You do not need an explanation. All you have to say is consumer surplus will increase. That's all you need to say. Keep it simple. Okay, part D. And assume instead that a lump sum subsidy is provided. A lump sum means instead of it being a per unit, like, hey, for every t-shirt you sell, that's $2 subsidy. It's more like, hey, here's $500 as a subsidy. I don't care how much you sell. I don't. Here's $500 as a subsidy. So it's a lump sum. They just give you money. Did this change the deadweight loss? Well, did we change our MR equals MC? And the answer is no. Okay, because they gave you a lump sum, right? Basically, your fixed cost goes down. Remember, the fixed cost is something that doesn't change with quantity. Okay? A lump sum subsidy, which is just a one-time payment of money, as you have more quantity, that lump sum subsidy, it doesn't change. So did we change the marginal cost? No. Okay, only a per unit subsidy would change the marginal cost. A lump sum subsidy would not change the marginal cost. So therefore, on D, DI, you would say dead weight loss will not change because lump sum subsidy does not change. Hold on, am I rewriting it? Oh yeah, because lump sum subsidy does not change profit max quantity, right? We did not change your marginal cost or your marginal revenue, so therefore we did not change your profit max quantity. Okay? The only thing that changes your marginal cost is a per unit subsidy. A lump sum subsidy will not change your marginal cost. However, what happened to your economic losses? If the government gives you more money, okay, you have extra money. So what happened to your economic losses? Your losses will decrease. Economic losses will decrease. Okay? And that's it. Okay? So that's all for question one. I will be linking this document in the description below. That way you will have it. In fact, the link will have all of the explanations for the previous 60 questions from the mock exam. So feel free to check that out and see how you did. I will be moving on to question two in the next video. Okay? If you have any comments, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to help you out in any way I can. If you have a suggestion for another video, I'd be very happy to see what you come up with. Okay? So I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye.